Good morning. Today is such a beautiful energy. It feels just so different than yesterday with all the disruptions and changes and triggers that rose up for so many of us. And today we're feeling a bit of a reprieve from that, which is really welcome. And I don't know if you're feeling it as you're joining. Let me know in the comments how you're feeling today and how you're experiencing this energy. I woke up and I was just like, "Oh, today feels different, and today feels like a day I just want to like enjoy the peace, enjoy the quiet, enjoy the connection that I'm having with the spirit world, and then also feeling pulled to connect with others. And it's a beautiful day for that. I told you the energy this week was going to be about really allowing yourself to take credit for all of the growth you've experienced this year and reviewing your year and really focusing on where were you at the beginning of the year and where are you now. And if you didn't take the time to do that yesterday, today would be a fantastic day to do that, because it will allow you to help integrate all that you've learned this year, all the changes you've made, all the growth you've experienced. And we're really receiving a beautiful opportunity to do that. I just love this energy. And it's we've got the six today with the Jack of Clubs, and there's the Jack of Clubs is that 11 master energy, so it's that initiation into higher levels of thinking and communicating, belief systems. And today's a really great day to examine, are there still belief systems you're carrying that may not be serving you moving forward? We're still clearing out a lot of stuff from 2021 this week and kind of this whole month in order to really set us up for our 2022. And yet at the same time, we're already feeling the energy of 2022 coming in. And today we're feeling that sixth energy, which is the universal year for next year. And so this is giving you a bit of a taste of what 2022's energy can be like. And we're going to be, there's this choice point that's coming in today with that Jack of Clubs, asking us to choose. Are we going to continue on this path of expansion, of walking into our purpose, of walking into the unknown that we've been called to this year, that has led us to this place of beautiful integration today? And all of the expansion that we've experienced this year, all of the changes that we've brought in, all of the shift in consciousness that we've experienced, coming into more love, more compassion for ourselves and others. And, are we going to continue on this path? Are we going to see that it's up to us to take personal responsibility for our lives, and that we are conscious creators, that we do create our lives? Or are we going to choose to slip back into victimhood and choose to go back to allowing life to just happen to us, which really is a distorted belief system? Because no matter whether we're taking responsibility or we're not, we are creating our lives. And so to have this illusion that life is happening to you is really a distorted belief system. It really is an illusion. And with that Neptune influence of our season that we're in right now, and Neptune has gone direct, but it's not moving quickly. So we're still in the shattering of illusions of that Neptune retrograde. There's still that element that's there for us, and we're shattering illusions. Will you let yourself see clearly today? Will you let yourself see the truth of how have you been approaching life, and how do you want to move forward into next year? And really be on purpose, be responsible for creating the peace, the ease, the fulfillment, the beauty, the harmony and flow in your life that the sixth year is calling us into. And so, we're getting that taste of that today, and we're getting that choice point with that Jack of Clubs coming in and saying, okay, are you going to choose to move higher? The Jack wants to initiate us into what's new, into a more spiritual approach to our thinking and our communicating and how we interact with others with that six coming in. So especially with family, with friends, with the people closest to us, with our support network, with our spiritual support network as well. And today is a really highly intuitive day. I mean, overall, our intuition has expanded so much this year, and we're seeing, the evidence of that again today, looking even at that, like how much more have you learned this year to trust your intuition? Because that is something to really give yourself credit for. And, sometimes it's not easy to do when our intuition is telling us something that's so contrary to popular belief. And that's coming up for us. It has been coming up for us all year, and it will continue to do so into the next year even more. And so this is going to be about, really trusting that inner voice, really trusting your heart, trusting in love, trusting in that path, and in your purpose and in yourself, and really trusting your intuition over anyone else's opinion, over anyone else's thoughts, over anyone else's beliefs, knowing what's right for you and standing firm in that no matter what. And we've been called to this for some time now. We've been practicing with this all year, but this will be this new year is going to bring it in a new way, and really cause us to examine our relationships with others, the people closest to us and in our network, and really being willing to let go of anything that's toxic to us, because or overhauling the way we interact with people so that it creates more love, peace, and ease. It's not necessarily having to drop certain relationships or leave certain relationships, although it can be, but it's also more about going within first, looking at ourselves. How are we showing up in those relationships? It's not about looking at them and what needs to be fixed in them. It's about looking at ourselves, and it's not even about fixing. It's just about being willing to see through the illusions, to see the belief systems that have been causing us to experience experiences that we don't want, the arguing, the separation, the it has to be my way, the control, right? Lots of control. We're going to be faced with that, and we're getting a taste of that today too, looking at where are we controlling and all of that. But there's this lovely energy coming in of integration. It's a peaceful day. It's not I don't feel that it's going to be a very jarring day in terms of revelations, although it can be if you have been resisting the process. But if you have been really going with the flow and really working on your spiritual expansion this year, today should be a really lovely day and a bit of a reprieve. And just a day to allow those new awarenesses to come in as they come up, because the Jack can bring that in with that newness, that new level of initiation. And, just being willing to go, okay, like, I see this, I love and accept myself, I want to choose to move forward, I want to choose to take responsibility, I see my part. And this is really, what the six with the Jack of Clubs is asking us to do. Do you see your part? Do you see where you can change how you're approaching things, how you're thinking about things, how you're, are you bringing your thoughts down into your heart for examination before speaking, before taking action? before you interact with the world. And for my brain game students, this is all about PETA, prioritizing those emotions, then taking action. Well, if you're all stuck in the head, as we know from, our brain game studies, and you're just taking action from the head, that's not going to get you the results that you really desire. That's not going to get you that peace, that ease, that harmony, that fulfillment that you want, the love that you want to experience in your life and in the world. And so, in order to bring that in, we first have to bring the mind and welcome it down into the heart. We're not discarding the mind. We need the mind. The mind is, and the ego is important to our whole selves. We're not discarding pieces of ourselves. We're just examining with love any shifts that need to happen in our belief systems, in the way that we think, before we take action, before we speak, before we connect with others. And when we do that, the results are phenomenal. The results are, the results bring us all that fulfillment, that peace and ease, that joy, that celebration that we want. And the other part about this energy today, again, is you're not here to do this alone. You have a support network. Go to your support network today, spend time, connect with them. And, by this, I mean your spiritual support network for sure. And if you have a physical support network, if you don't, you're going to be feeling the absence of that today. And you'll probably you'll be feeling pulled to really create one for yourself, of people who you can connect with that are, on the same trajectory you are, of moving forward in personal responsibility and moving forward in spiritual expansion and consciousness expansion, and can really help support you on the days when you feel like maybe, you're slipping back into your old patterns or old belief systems. So, this is a reminder again that you belong. You belong to the spiritual world, you belong to the physical world, and you belong with connection and community and a support network and family. It may not be. It may be a family you create for yourself that, is a network of support, that is, a network of friends and mentors and coaches and teachers and healers who are also on this path that you can relate to, that can relate to you, and you guys can all support each other. I think of, when I'm thinking about this network, I think about the trees. And yesterday I shared that the trees in our community here, in our apartment complex, were being cut away. They were being pruned, or whatever they call that. And I always feel for the trees when this is happening, because it's so jarring and shocking to their systems to just have somebody climb it and start sawing away, right? And in nature, nobody prunes the trees. And so, part of me kind of wonders how necessary this ritual really is in the first place, unless there's some threat to, possible harm from a certain branch, in a power line or something like that. But other than that, I kind of wonder. And anyway, I was thinking this morning, and I was feeling the trees, and I, thought about this network of support and how trees, the trees in our property that were pruned yesterday are receiving that support from the other trees in the neighborhood right now through the root systems that they're so connected through. And, trees communicate with each other. They create families together and networks through their root systems and support one another. So as the trees on our property are, integrating now the changes from yesterday that were shocking and jarring to their system, they're receiving that support from their network. And so that's what I'm talking about with this energy today, is that you're never alone. You have a support network. And even if you don't have a great one yet that you've built for yourself in this physical world, you always have support and love and everything you need from the spiritual world. So connecting in with that today for sure is going to be super beneficial. And if you have that physical support network here in the physical world, then tapping into that as well, you'll feel the joy of connecting with your like-minded individuals today. And you'll also feel pulled to create more of that, or to create that if you don't have that set up for yourself yet, as today, but also as we come into this energy of next year, you're really going to want that. You're going to want that experience more and more and more. So beautiful energy today, and lots of opportunities opening up to us for, again, integrating this energy and taking responsibility for ourselves and the direction of our lives and our purpose, and really experiencing more love in our life, if that's what you want, which I truly believe at the heart that's really what we all want. Then it's time to take responsibility and make sure that you stay responsible, that you continue on that path of self-responsibility. And if you're feeling like you need support, you're feeling like you need help, this is what we do in the brain game. And we have a beautiful community. You don't just take the brain game once for 10 weeks and then move on and are on your own. You have a community of support that travels with you forever, and you can retake the brain game for free once you've paid for it once, so that you can continue to travel and expand and grow and receive that support to use those tools that you learn throughout the brain game and be able to live your best life, to be able to experience that love fully, and to be able to feel fulfilled, feel that peace, that harmony, setting yourself free, really just experiencing life at its highest levels. And so, no more stress and anxiety and overwhelm and all of the things that, we can really feel burdened by in this life. The suffering is optional in this life. We do not need to suffer, and suffering is not the only path to learning. You can actually learn through expanding in love. And, that's what the brain game really helps us learn how to do. You don't just learn about it, you actually do it and experience it all the way through, which is what I love about it. I've done so many self-help programs in the past during my life, and, really didn't get the results I wanted, because you would learn all these things, but you wouldn't know how to apply them, and there was no support for applying them, and you didn't learn how to apply them in the programs. And so that's a big difference with the brain game, but also because you're working in the universal flow. And we're talking about that flow today with the six, the femininity of it, the being in the flow. And the brain game works with the universal flow of the divine timing cycle. And so the order in which we do things makes a big difference in our success or failure. And so we learn what that order is, and we experience it as we go along. And we're just finishing up a round of the brain game now. We're in our week 9 this week, which is really fun, because we're coming into that moment of actually we're in that momentum, and we're starting to transmute and transform, and it's a really exciting time. And what a beautiful time to be in right now, with all of the energies happening. And you just can't make this stuff up, how the timing always seems to work out just right. And there were some shifts and changes in our schedule. So this wasn't planned by me. This was planned by the universe and designed specifically for us to have this experience just at the right moment. And I really love how things flow together when we are willing to flow with the universe. And so anyway, we're starting a new round in January, and I am open to taking calls right now to discuss how this might help you, how this might work for you. If this is something that is calling to you, if you really want to expand into experiencing peace and ease, getting rid of anxiety, overwhelm, fears, confusion about which direction you're headed, if you're not sure which direction to head, this is going to help you. And starting it right at the beginning of 2022, wow, what a way to start your year and really get yourself set up for success. And so, highly encourage you. There's a link in the description where you can go to, and there's an option to schedule a discovery call with me. So you can chat with me for free, just connect with me, and there's no obligation. But I can at least help you, give you some free tools even on that call that you can use to help get yourself set up, even if you don't decide to move forward in the brain game at this time. But if you have questions about it and you are curious and feeling a little pulled towards it, I highly suggest and recommend you connect with me. And I look forward to connecting with you. I'd love to get to know you better and love to get to know where I can be of most service to you. So, looking forward to that. Have a beautiful day, beautiful energy today. Embrace it, flow with it. Allow yourself to enjoy this reprieve that we're experiencing today, but don't rest on your laurels either. You know, really move with this energy and take advantage of the opportunity to really consider and integrate and see and welcome in any new awarenesses that come in, and allowing them to move into acceptance for you, and just really integrating those in, and not resisting. Go with the flow and be in acceptance. It's a beautiful day to do this. So love you guys, and thank you for joining me on the live or on the replay. Please let me know in the comments if I can help you with anything, if you resonated with this message, if you just want to say hello, whatever it is. I love getting your comments and feedback. So please feel free to leave them in the comments section, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.